Hello, welcome back to the Couple Binders space. We are glad to have you. Thank you for following us on our different platforms. Lucy and I here again to share.
What is your name?
Ronald Kazibwe. We are here to share with you something, a session, like a conversation on a topic that is sometimes hard for people to comprehend, but also one of those things that make the tongue very heavy. We want to talk about forgiveness, healing and forgiveness in marriage, but also it can be in any relationship. We have had many conversations where people have said, my spouse did this and this and this, and we have failed to move past that that point, and all we've been in this marriage. There's a time we are in a certain space for marriage, and someone said, I've been married to my spouse for 18 years, and my spouse has never said sorry. For them, they don't wrong.
And we also know others married, even if you're married for a month and you've never said sorry.
So it is very important that you get to realize. There's a time we're having it wasn't a retreat, it was a talk to couples, and someone said, we've been married for very many years. There were very many years, and said, but I think we've reached that point where we can't get it back. And I remember telling them, and that day, it was the day the church was celebrating the readings were on the prodigal son. The prodigal son. And I was telling him, you can argue, you can say, me and my wife, or me, I have wronged. Come and say, Lucy, I've wronged you for this number of years. I'm not worthy. Lucy, why do you want me to call you? I'm not worthy to be called a husband in this home. But please forgive me. Find space, fight in your heart to forgive me, and help me so that we move on this journey of reconciliation and we reach a certain point.
Your sins are forgiven. Go in peace.
That is very important in marriage, for marriages to work. We are always hurting each other. And for us, we usually call it opening the windows
of your house.
Your
marriage being the house.
Every morning, when you wake up, the first thing you do is to open your windows. And you've noticed that even those houses that are so spotlessly clean, if for one or another, if you don't open them up, they start smelling funny. They start getting fungi. It's like a fungus something. When you open the drawers, they have that funny pungent smell that hits you, and it comes back because they were not refreshed. That is how marriages are. If they are not refreshed, and they should be refreshed every day. Every day. It's very important. Do you have anything to add?
We've been, as Ronnie has told you, we support couples. So we have one-on-one sessions. We speak at events. But usually in the one-on-one couple support, it comes out clearly that people are struggling. They are struggling to move past a point. Maybe someone did something, wronged the other so much, or sometimes it may not even be so much according to other levels, but the forgiveness has not happened to help them move to another level. So you're teaching them, for example, communication, but because the heart is still there, it's strong, it's so much, they detest the other person, so they can't even learn to communicate. So that's one of the reasons why for this year's annual Couples Getaway, which will happen on 20th, from 20th, the residents will arrive on 20th June, but the content will be 21st and 22nd to cater also for the non-residents. Our focus is going to be on forgiveness and healing. And this is a thing we all need. Sometimes when others hear you're going away for a retreat on that, they start saying, hey, what has he done? What? one of the things that has helped us a lot is we were able to learn some of these principles early, and we even keep going for more learning and for more spaces to learn. So if maybe your spouse has not yet done anything, it's already important for you to learn, so that when that time comes, already you have been empowered on how to go about forgiveness. But also the healing. Sometimes you've forgiven, but the heart is still so heavy, you've not gotten healing from that. So the facilitators we are having this time around for the retreat, God has also gifted them with that gift to help people go past wounds and start a new chapter in their lives. But of course, it is God who heals, ultimately. So baby steps. But this retreat, this getaway, is to help us, to help couples get to that level. To first of all, if you've not had a hurting thing, congratulations. Like us, still come and learn, so that when such a time comes, already you are equipped. But also, if you're struggling with these areas, this is a retreat you should not miss.
Yeah, but I think it is also, we have people of different characters, personalities, and we hurt in different ways. So one thing that may one say it doesn't really hurt me is sometimes what breaks another.
Yes.
I always compare it to a farmer managing a garden. While some people say I'd rather till land on a rocky ground, another will say I'd rather do a swampy area with clay. Another one will say, oh no, I don't think I can do that. I'll cut down a forest. So that is how it is. That some small things for some are really big for others, and this is supposed to be that space. There's something we learn practically. How do you go about forgiveness every day? Forgiving someone is a gift. When you forgive a person, you're giving them a gift. And also it's also similar to apologizing. Also apologizing is a gift that you give to your spouse. So you can choose to be generous with forgiving. Also you can be generous with asking for forgiveness. And when in one of the marriage retreats that we attended, it was called a Faithful House retreat at Emmaus Center. It was a 1 week long retreat. We had a whole day which was dedicated to forgiveness. And I think when people forgive each other, there's a way God does and release so many things that have been held. And I remember that time when couples were
when they came back in the evening.
Yes, when they came back in the evening, there was this radiant atmosphere in the room that was missing throughout the previous 4 days.
Yes.
And it was because people had gone a step further to forgive each other. Practically, one of the things that we also practice up to today is that, sometimes you do something to someone and they don't know that you've actually wronged them. Rather,
they have wronged
you. Sorry, I turned it the other around.
Especially certain personalities.
Yes, especially certain personalities. A person, you've wronged that person.
You use the live examples. I'm okay. You can use me as an example.
My wife is a type red. What is the other name they give reds?
Choleric.
Yeah.
Yes.
So reds have a way of speaking their minds, and the way they speak their minds sometimes is hurtful to another person. So for them, it is coming out straightforward, but during that, when they are coming out straightforward, they are not sensitive. So they are action oriented, so they don't mind what happens along the way as long as they have achieved the action. Now, we the greens, what do we call the greens?
Phlegmatic,
something like that. We usually keep it low. We don't talk much. We will not complain much. But because we can absorb so much, we are like a sponge that we take long to. Our breaking points are longer than the reds. So when many times a red will not even realize that they have hurt anyone in a room. They'll come in a room and disorganize everything.
Normally we have this scenario. My husband is hurt, I did something. Me, I am happy going on with life. I don't know that I hurt him. So because I am usually the guilty one, because of my personality, which I keep working on, but the fact is, you're created like that. It takes time to adjust some things. So I have made it a practice to check in and say, how did I hurt you today? Almost every day. How did I hurt you? Did I hurt you in any way today? And sometimes I'm shocked. He will bring something and I say, I try to recall. I'm not even recalling. I'm like, but I just told you the truth. And yeah. So go back, husband. But that's something that plays out, and it may be the same playing out in your relationship.
Yes, and
because of your personality.
And you know what happens? Because if you, like she said, you check in. Now, if you don't check in, the other person, what they do, they start detesting you.
Yeah.
That even the good things you do, they don't notice.
Yes.
You know, you will go with someone and they'll be like, my dress was so beautiful.
And he didn't notice.
And
we've had those moments. We still have them. Where some good here
like,
is annoyed at something I didn't even recognize.
And you're like,
he's ignoring me.
And they're like, there is things where we are living,
yeah.
And everyone is in the car, and we are seated there for 15 minutes. And Her Majesty walks in the car.
It's not usually 15 minutes, like 5 maximum.
So, and then she just says, and it's like, and we are all quiet. You know, we are waiting for you to say, I apologize, I'm late. And they first go over everything of, you know, I had to do this, I had to do this, I had to do that. And you're like, And then she's like, okay, I'm really sorry, husband and all the children, because I usually find sometimes in those things where even the children are seated in the car and you're like, okay, I'm sorry, everyone, I've kept you waiting for 15 minutes. You know, 5 minutes. So those things are very important when you do them, because it breaks that barrier that is you're trying to create. But for some people, it goes on every day. 366 days in a year.
Yeah.
Another year, 5 years down the road, and people grow apart because we are not forgiving and we are not healing. And so one day something just happens, and people are breaking up. Yes. And someone says, but I did only a small thing. That is why the English calls it the last straw that breaks the camel's back. Yes. There have been many other straws that have been piled. Yeah. So it's very important that people go through forgiveness, they forgive each other. Yeah. And one of the other thing, how we do it is sometimes you realize is that, like we said, it's a gift. You say, I can come and Lucy comes and tells me, Ronnie, yesterday when you said this and this and this, it wasn't good. It hurt me so much, but I forgive you. I even took it to the Lord in prayer and I forgave you already. Now that helps me to also realize, that hurt, and I extend the apology. Though they have already forgiven me, but I extend the apology and I'm like, I'm really, really sorry. I didn't realize that actually I did that. Yeah. And so we are helping out, checking out each other, and then we help out so that things don't pile up. And as we work through some of these areas of forgiveness. Yeah. But it is a very important thing. We shall speak about it later. But forgiving, asking for forgiveness, everyone knows the Old Testament. Those ones who have read the Bible, they know. You've read the books of the book of Kings. David. If you compare David and Saul, and you see who really wronged, who did
Solomon,
Saul, the King Saul, and King David. King Saul was the one that came. David came after King Saul.
Yes, before David.
Saul, when you look at the things Saul did and the things King David did, what marked the difference between David and Saul was someone learning that my knees are supple. I will bend down back very fast and say, please forgive me.
He would
And that
apologize
is
to
how
God.
he ended up being a man after God's own heart.
Yeah.
To the point that God said, I will bring the Savior to the world through your line.
Yeah.
Through your line.
Like-
The root of Jesse. A
Yes.
bird will rise from the root of Jesse.
Because when
And
you
it
read
is,
David is the Psalms,
yeah.
when he speaks of a contrite heart, when he's talking about
Yes.
saying, God forgive me, you really feel it. This guy would repair. He would
Yes.
mend the
Who
fences.
mend the fences.
Yes.
And that is what marked the difference. That he wronged. He did everything wrong in the book. As in he murdered. He basically, when you go and do the 10
He
commandments
took someone's
across,
wife and made sure that person is killed. Can you imagine?
so he did whatever you have to do.
But God loved him.
But still God loved him so much.
Yeah.
And the difference was because he learned how to ask for forgiveness. He
Yes.
knew how to run back and say, I wronged you. I wronged you. I wish couples learn to do that.
Yeah.
You know it is pride. You've done something and you'll be like, a man doesn't apologize. A woman doesn't apologize. I cannot apologize to my children. You know? So we stand this tall and we are like, I will not. Do you know what happens when a wind comes? The reeds that are flexible, they always bend down,
And
the
survive.
wind passes, and the huge oak trees that no one thinks unbreakable are the ones we find floating down the river because they have been broken by the winds.
Yeah.
Let us learn to realize that we are humans and we wrong others and we ask for forgiveness, but then also let us realize that humans are humans, they wrong us, and we also learn to give them the gift of forgiveness. That
So-
is what we wanted to share with you today.
So this
Also.
this conversation is going to be continued at the annual Couples Getaway in June. Don't miss it. How do you forgive? Why? How do you practice it besides what we have shared?
Yeah.
And how do you go past the hurt that you're feeling
Yeah.
so that you can continue? Marriage is beautiful, but you have to keep working at it.
And we want
forgiveness.
to create a safe space where couples will have a
share.
moment with
Yes.
each other
Yes.
to go over some of these things with. We shall have a number of people they can just go there and walk to and talk to without any extra payment.
Yes.
And share with them their journeys, the things that are hurting them. On Sunday we shall have a priest coming over for those that want to even go, those who are
Confession,
Catholics and
so that
want
you
to
live-
extend the confession
You
and they
leave
want
the
to
retreat
live
with a new slate.
and they want to really start a new slate, and we are
Yes.
going to put all this in place at just that little cost. It's a gift.
Yes.
It's a gift. 780
780 for 2 days, accommodation, residency.
with meals, and then with all the money for facilitators. It's
And-
really a
and
gift.
for non-residents,
Yeah.
it's 420.
It's
so
a gift from us.
yes,
Because
check out.
of how we love you.
So check out our channels. Get in touch with us for more details. We are finalizing registrations for the getaway. Don't miss to be part of it. But you can start practicing.
Yeah.
Ask your spouse.
What did I do?
Start prepare.
Start mending
Get in
fences.
good books. What does it
Read the Psalms.
Yes.
They are very good. They will show you some areas on how to really talk
So-
and talk to your spouse.
Until another time.
Yeah.
You say some parting shots.
Like what? I don't have parting shots. I've said all I have to
You
say
even told
today.
them we love you.
Yes.
Yes, but define love.
Uh-huh.